Hi everyone, good morning. So I guess I had to record it through OBS, our sync session. We don't have classes by Thursday, that's why I had created this synchronous session for you in order for you to still continue with your learning in the different personality theories on in psychology. So we are done with the theory of Sigmund Freud. Now let's delve into the theory of Adler. Okay. So, according to Adler, all failures are so because they lack social interest. So, he emphasized the importance of being able to sustain yourself, being able to become more giving to other people, not just to yourself. So, medyo opposite talaga sila ni Freud no, when it comes to his view in humanity. Overcoming difficulties leads to courage, self-respect, and knowing yourself. So, very optimistic yung tingin niya sa mga tao. No? According also to him, the neurotic is nailed to the cross of his fiction. So at least we have some hindsights of his view about humanity or about personality theories. So some preliminary questions for discussion is how can you differentiate Adler's theory from Freud's theory? What is the concept of social interest as according to Adler? Explain the concept of organ dialect according to Adler, and how our safeguarding tendencies differ from defense mechanisms. Okay, so here are some of the overview of Adler's theory. Adler stressed a positive view of human nature. He viewed humanity as a person wherein he can change, no? A person can change. Okay, just verifying my recording. Okay, nagre-record naman siya. Okay, nagre-record naman siya. Okay. Alright. So, he also believed that humans can control their faith. So, you can control what can happen to you. Very teleological yung tingin ni Adler sa personality, no, or sa human behavior. They can do this part by trying to help other people through social interest, and they could also be able to, help other people. They could also be able to give to other people. And how can they do this can be understood through analyzing their lifestyle. So, the style of life is emphasized by Adler still. Early interactions with family members, peers, and teachers help to determine the role of inferiority and superiority in their lives. So may inferiority complex na idea din sa Adler, no? And superiority complex din siya na idea. Thus, individual psychology presents an optimistic view of a person resting heavily on social interest, or it's the feeling of oneness with all humankind. Okay? Here are some of his basic assumptions. Now, people are self-determined and they can be shaped, or they can shape their personalities through free choice. So people has a choice of their behavior or actions. So they are self-determined, and they could be able to control whatever happens towards their lives, no, to their future. People strive for superiority. It's either you strive for the success of all or personal superiority, unlike kay Freud that sex and aggression lang, no? So the healthier part of course, the success of all rather than personal superiority. People are motivated by social relationships by striving for success or superiorities. Hence, very social then yung theory ni Adler, no? Heredity endows people with abilities and environment that gives them the opportunity to enhance it, but people are responsible for the use of these gifts that they have and how they could use it, no? And how can it make them be able to recognize who they really want to be. Okay, still recognizing but not fully determined by the fate of the person. So, the difference of it by Freud kay Freud kasi talaga is in-emphasize niya yung unconscious. Though si Adler naman, he recognized that there are unconscious forces that motivates a person, but hindi lang yun talaga yung major factor. It's also with how he sees the future. Consciousness is a big part, and consciousness is the major part or determinant of personality or behavior of a person. Another here is people's subjective perceptions shape their behavior and personality. So we have our perceptions, kanya-kanya yan, no? And with this perceptions about what happened to us, our experiences, it will shape, of course, us, our behavior, and our personality. Another assumption here is psychologically healthy people are aware of what they're doing and why they are doing it. Okay? That's why consciousness talaga, no? And people are motivated by future goals. Okay? Hence, teleological by nature. Okay, concept of humanity, free choice, optimistic, teleology, social factors, uniqueness, and consciousness. So, major tenets we have here, striving for success or superiority, the subjective perceptions, it's our subjective beliefs of reality, social interest or connectedness to the society, the style of life or the flavor of one's life. Hence, malaking impact ito sa isang tao, no? Unified and self-consistent, it means that personality is indivisible and cannot be divided, no? Creative power, people are born with a creative force within them. Here are tenets of Adler's theory, striving force for success or personal superiority. This is the sole dynamic force of people's action. We either strive for success or personal superiority. The final goal is either, this personal success or success for all. We strive, there is a striving force for compensation because people strive as means of compensation for their inferiority, and sometimes it can be unhealthy because personal superiority means that there is a presence of inferiority complex, which is not really healthy or good towards a person. Feelings of inferiority is healthy because through that we can have that creative power, but having this inferiority complex, it's no longer healthy or not really good for a person as he or she develops. Striving for success. This is a one dynamic force which motivated by social interests. Yeah. So, ayun, no? We also have fictions and physical inferiority. Fictions are the expectations of the future. Pag sinabi nating fictional finalism, ito yung tinitingnan ng tao, no, sa life niya. What could be the goal? What is the subjective perception of the person in his life in the future? Physical inferiorities. Ito. According to Adler, humans are endowed with this when they are born, which might be caused by exaggerated physical deficiencies, inferiority complex, or it can then boost creative power through inferiority feelings. Again, inferiority feelings are healthy, inferiority complex is not healthy. Here are tenets of Adler's theory. It's unified and self-consistent. Each person is unique and indivisible. We cannot divide the levels of mental life into three categories, just like a Freud, no? For him, it's only the consciousness. Though there is still unconscious forces, pero it's just the consciousness. Next, organ dialect. It means that your body speaks a certain language. Next is conscious and unconscious. He recognized that there are forces, the conscious forces and the unconscious forces within the person. And the important tenet here is social interest, or the feeling of oneness with all humankind. He also mentioned about this term, Gemeinschaftsgefühl. It's a German word that can be translated to community feeling or social interest. Now, let's go to the style of life. Again, I've mentioned about this. And inferiority, feelings versus complex. Healthy, si feelings, si complex, hindi siya healthy. Okay? So, in order for them to make up for that feeling of inferiority, sometimes they could be aggressive, no, to overcome their limitations. So, with this feelings of, with this inferiority complex, people might strive to become aggressive at times, no. Superiority complex is a person's beliefs that they are superior to others. Okay, we have creative power. This will mold your style of life for you to become better. Masculine protest is it influenced many men, women to overemphasize being manly and drives or desirability to become masculine. Okay, so yeah, we mentioned about this one. And now let's go to the external factors to maladjustment. So we have exaggerated physical deficiencies. For some people, they overly concern about themselves and overcompensate for inadequacy, like I'm weak, so I must compensate. Pampered style of life naman lies the heart of neurosis, and it has a weak social interest. So for some children, they desire to perpetuate too much, like being spoiled. They feel like they could get whatever they want. And neglected style of life naman, ito naman, they are unwanted, abused, or mistreated. They are not given the love and care and support that they need. Like, they are abused ones or being abandoned. No? Sila yung mga batang ganon. And lumalaki sila, nagkakaroon sila ng mga maladjusted behaviors. Okay. So, physical deficiencies, ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo, whether congenital man yan, kapag may disability ka, or a result of an injury, like nabalian ka ng paa, no? So, this could lead to some maladjustments, and for some, they could feel inferior, no? And these feelings may greatly affect them. But again, with that feelings, it is a root, or that is a fuel for you to have your creative power. Because each person comes into the world blessed with physical deficiencies, and these deficiencies lead to physical inferiority. And of course, you will compensate for that inadequacy. Okay? It can lead to inferiority feelings that can eventually lead to creative power, or inferiority complex, which is the unhealthy one. Okay? So, what are the 5 life tasks? We have romance, love, according to Adler. These are the tasks we should do as a human person. Work or occupation, interpersonal relationships with others, self-acceptance, and spirituality. So, hinalintulad niya yung buhay, hinalintulad niya yung puno, no? Ito daw yung buhay ng tao. May style of life, and yung mga branches, no? Yun daw yung nagde-determine ng task na gagawin niya sa buhay. And the roots, of course, you can see here the roots that give nutrients to the trunk of the tree and to the overall tree. Family constellation. So, sinabi niya din ito, no? Ito yung mga traits daw na minsan namamana or nasa isang child daw as he or she grows up. So, family constellation explores the influence of birth order, your position, if you're the only child, the oldest child, the second child, the middle child, youngest, only boy. So, marami, no? So, may mga determinants din siya kung ilang number of years. Pero, to be more general, let's focus now in the 4, yung nandito sa table, na nasa libro niya rin. So, oldest child, they can be nurturing and protective of others. They are considered to be good organizers. But, they can be highly anxious and have this exaggerated feelings of power. They could also be unconscious because they try to fight for acceptance, and they have this feeling that they should always be right. Okay? They are uncooperative and highly critical of others. For second-born child, the positive traits could be highly motivated, cooperative, and moderately competitive, while the negative traits can be highly competitive and easily discouraged. Si Adler, may bias siya with the second child because he is a second child. Youngest child, the positive traits can be realistically ambitious, and the negative traits daw could be pampered style of life, dependent on others, wants to excel in everything, and unrealistically ambitious. Now, for the only child, the positive traits daw could be socially mature and have this exaggerated feelings of superiority, low feelings of cooperation, inflated sense of self, and pampered style of life. Okay? So now let's go to 4 styles of life, since he mentioned about this. So we have 4. Ruling dominant type. They have high energy but low social interest. Getting leaning type, they have low energy but low social interest. We also have avoiding type, they have low energy and also low social interest. And socially useful type, they have high energy and high social interest. So these are the types of people according to their degree of social interest. Okay? So abnormal development, it happens when there is an underdeveloped social interest. They set their goals too high. They live in their own private world and have a rigid and dogmatic style of life. So now let's go to safeguarding tendencies. So ito yung version niya of defense mechanisms. This enables persons to hide their inflated sense of self and maintain their current style of life. It is also there to shield their fragile self-esteem from public disgrace limited to neurotic style of life. So we have here excuses and aggression and withdrawal. So tatlo yan, no? Excuses, ito yung parang yes, but, or if only. Okay. So, aggression, there is also this feeling of exaggerated superiority complex, depreciation, undervaluing other and overvalue one's own. Accusation naman, a tendency to blame others for one's failure, and self-accusation is marked by self-torture and guilt. So, excuses, ito yung parang may lagi kang dahilan. If only I could study more, I could get good grades. There's always something that you that you use, no, in order for you to hide that inflation or that inferior feeling, no. Aggression, ito naman sometimes we use this because we have this superiority complex. We depreciate, binabaliwala natin yung mga success ng ibang tao, no. Depreciation yan. Accusation naman is yung tendency natin na ipasa sa iba yung nangyari sa atin or yung mistake na nagawa natin. And self-accusation naman, ito naman sa sarili to, no? Pinapasa mo sa sarili mo yung kamalian or yung nangyari sa'yo kahit hindi mo naman kasalanan. Safeguarding tendencies are unhealthy actually, no? But this happens through conscious forces, unlike kay Freud. Consciousness, no, ang gumagana sa safeguarding tendencies. For withdrawal, we have 3. Whenever we try to set our distance between problems and themselves, we run away from responsibilities, like we move backward. We try to revert to a more secure period of time. We stand still. Para siyang regression din kay Freud, no? But yung standing still is we do not move to any direction also in order to avoid responsibility. Hesitating, it's too late now, no? Tapos na, no? Hindi na tayo makakagawa pa ng something else. Constructing obstacles, ito naman gumagawa ka ng problem and ikaw mismo yung magsosolve ng problem na yun. Okay, synthesis lang, no? To compare, Freud is biological, Adler is more of environmental. People are motivated by social interest while people are also responsible for who they are. Again, present behavior is shaped by people's view of the future. Teleological and psychologically healthy people are aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it. So, teleological yung theory ni Freud, ang theory ni Adler, unlike kay Freud na very causal, and personality is simplified and self-consistent. Okay? So, applications to psychotherapy. Ito naman, early recollections. They encourage clients to recall their early memories, dreams. They attempt to solve problems. And sa Adler yun, psychotherapy kasi ini-enhance and improve yung social interest. And also, people are discouraged daw, no? People are discouraged. Kaya daw nagkakaroon ng mental health disorders yung isang tao, no? So, ayun, no? So, sana may natutunan kayo sa ating lesson natin about Adler. Okay. Gusto kong puntahan na rin si Carl Jung para matapos na rin tayo, no, sa lessons natin sa module 1. Okay. Okay, sige. Pero I guess next week na lang siguro, no, para may discussion tayo for next week. Pero anyways, punta muna tayo dito sa ating mga module. So please answer M1 formative assessment online. Hindi pala, sorry. Iba pala to. Iba pala kayo. Okay, hindi ko kayo na. Okay, this one. So you go to your modules. Please answer a week 1 quiz. M1 formative assessment by Sir Ced. Week 2 quiz in this one. M1 formative assessment by Sir Ced. So ayun. So answeran nyo yung mga quizzes na to, ha. And you watch also videos of Sir JP Buduan at YouTube. And marami kayong sources din. Aside from that, reading is important. Okay? You have to read the Book of Vice para maintindihan nyo talaga yung theory niya talaga. Alright? So I guess that will be all for now, thank you so much for having this class. I mean, thank you for, just listen to this na lang, no? Thank you so much, and just message me if you have concerns. So I'll be ending the recording.